So this is the part of the interview where I put some quotes of yourself back into your head.
Oh, fuck.
I asked the question. So there is this one, 3 of them. There is learning my craft as an actor, wanting to be a director. The second one is, here we are for me is discovering if I can do it. And the third one is seeing it from start to finish. That's why I'm here. So the question is as follows. You have 4 films in different stages of their journey. Where are they now? Where are you now? And what has the learning curve been like so far?
So the 4 films of my in my repertoire. Lola has gone on an unbelievable festival circuit. The big ones, the small ones, the in-between ones, and it's now coming to its dramatic conclusion. We've had the most busiest, unbelievable 2-3 weeks of festival entries. And it's been an actual surprise every morning getting a text from Lewis, who's the writer, being like, we got another one, and being like, fuck! Considering for a while when we started the festival journey, nothing. And that's fine, you know, we understood that it was gonna take a while. But we always had belief that the film was good. So yeah, Lola is slowly coming to its end of its festival journey and will hopefully be online soon so that people can finally see the whole thing for themselves. But here we are, only just finished the completion of the film about 2-3 weeks ago. Due to the coronavirus, I was having to grade it and sound design it remotely, which was a huge experience and a huge lesson to be learned because it was so confusing, and not being able to be in person because of the pandemic was added weeks onto post-production that it shouldn't have. It was just another step. Obviously, Iron One is about to start filming the last week of August, which is exciting. And having been a writer now and a director, I feel like that last quote that you sent me about wanting to see it from start to finish feels even more appropriate than anything else, because I really have, you know, seen this thing from birth of my brain, which was probably September, October of last year, to now, last week of August, possibly like a whole year from idea to actually shooting it. And in a weird way, which is something that I love, is that I've done a short film the first week of September for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
It's not fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, it couldn't be more like I've literally waited a whole year and then I'll do another one on the last week of August. Like, Lola was September the 14th. Here we are was August the 31st and September the 1st. This is going to be August 24th, 25th. It feels like I'm edging closer into the summer every time I'm doing a film, which is weird. And then the last one, I guess, the last film, you said 4 in my repertoire, is that the day the country went into lockdown, I, with the help of you and with the help of me sending an old play that I wrote back in 2010 to you and being like, I wrote a play that got put on and I directed it at the White Bear Theatre in London called Out of Love. I wrote that play for my friend who lived with me who was unemployed. like that's the birth of it. At the time, there was a lot of context. There was the London riots going on. And I was terrified. We were in Stoke Newington in this flat. I came out of the cinema in Angel. And I saw 4 guys with balaclavas and baseball bats walking towards me. They didn't touch me, but I was so scared. I was like, what the fuck is going on? The London riots. Got on a bus, went home and was like, and watching Rolling News until like 4 a.m, seeing the crazy carnage that was going on. I was like, I've got an idea for a play. Cut to 10 years later, literally 10 years later, I send you that play and you say, there's a film in here, or there's something in here to nurture and get out. So day 1 of lockdown, literally day 1 of lockdown, sat down with my laptop and I had 2 open documents, the play, and a blank page. And I did what works. I just copied and pasted and restructured the play into a film format. And then I had a draft 1 of the film. And now I'm coming up to draft 10 since lockdown. Mining, changing, working out, and have got to the very good position of selling my film rights and hopefully directing the film next year. So 4 stages, 4 different films in 4 different stages of production or post-production or out into the world. Lola's about to be seen by everyone, and I'm hopefully about to, this time next year, direct my first feature film. And I still get apprehensive about calling myself a director. I do. I'm like, I'm an actor and a director. Yeah, mad. So yeah, the 4 stages, and it feels like that last quote is incredibly more appropriate than ever before. You know, the last quote that you said, my own quote.
So that's where the films are. That's where you are.
So where I am,
the learning curve been?
Where I am on the learning curve is that I'm still feel like I don't belong here. I still feel like someone's going to come up and tell me that you're going to get found out. These things behind you. They're not good. You're not good. Which I actually think is a really good thing. I feel at the moment that the passion that I have for directing is the same passion that I had when I just graduated drama school. I was like, someone employ me because I'm fucking good. Honestly, my agent was like, I was like, get an audition, I'll get a job. Because I felt like I had something to prove. And it feels like that now, in a really healthy way. I feel like I've got very little to prove in the acting world, which is a lovely position to be in. I don't feel like I've got to get that lead film anymore. I don't feel like I've got to be on the West End, be in Broadway. I feel like I've ticked a lot of things that I wanted to tick off in my acting life. And for directing now, it feels like the list has started. I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. So I feel like I'm back to square one, but in a really good place. Yeah, personally, I feel like I'm just starting the journey again now. Yeah, I've got 2 under my belt, but that's nothing. If I can make a film a year, I'll be a very happy man. Or at least direct a year. You know, I feel like if I can, I don't really want to direct feature films. I mean, I do. I never set out to be a film director. I really want to work in television. We've said this before, you know, and any sort of chance I can get to direct on screen, I will. And I feel like that's where I'm at.
Which leads us to the very last question. Oh, a little song called Love Reign Over Me.
Ooh, great song.
Great song. And Pete Townsend once said about their character, Jimmy, he's in danger of maturing. This song, he's in danger of maturing. So what do you think about this quote with regards to Billy, as well as your own personal or creative journey? And
Nikki Bell, what a great question. What a brilliant question, honestly. Well, it's very Billy. I love that there's danger. I love Pete's word of danger. There's a danger that he's maturing. As if maturing is bad. Or as if maturing, which is great because actually the fear is, especially back then, the fear is that if you mature, you lose all sense of yourself. The mod culture was so youthful, gang-like, but not crazy like bikers. They were chaotic together. They dropped pills together. They were just chaotic, but en masse. And I feel like the danger of maturity is that suddenly you don't belong with them anymore. You need to get a job. You need to grow up, you know? So yeah, I think that's an amazing quote from Pete, because it really is for Jimmy in Quadrophenia. In Billy, I think it's less about maturity, and I think it's more about acceptance. I think Billy has a level of maturity because he has to be able to convey his emotions, which he does in the film. I think it's about acceptance. And I think it's that about, at the end of the day, it's about love, isn't it? It's about love. So I think to flip the quote from Pete on its head, it'd be like, Billy in this film is in danger of being loved. I think that's it. And then for myself, I mean, fuck. I don't know, you know. I feel like I've got a lot to prove, and I feel like there's a maturity in my work now, less so back then. And I think I Am One definitely would be a step up in terms of maturity as a director. Personally, I don't know, but professionally, yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Hopefully, I'll always be immature. Hopefully, I'll always be a child. You know, I think there's a fun in that. It's Peter Pan syndrome, isn't it? But yeah, maturity in my work.